Hey, this is Chris with Drouin Video, and today we're talking the 5 reasons why I switched from my Canon EOS R to the Sony FX30. Before we start with my 5 reasons that I switched from Canon EOS R to the Sony FX30, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that little notification bell doodad thing so that you can know every time that we post a video. So reason number 1 is better colors. I was running on C-Log, just C-Log, not 2, not 3 or anything, just C-Log the way it was. And now I have S-Log 3. Coming with S-Log 3, I also get 10-bit color on like everything. And did you know 10-bit has about 64 times the color information that 8-bit does? Reason number 2 that I switched from my Canon EOS R to the FX30 is 4K 60. Now the 4K can go up to 120, but I'm not going to use that a whole lot for things. I probably will for a few things, but not much. And of course, if I have it in 1080, it'll go all the way up to 240 frames per second. Now I know Canon does 4K, the EOS R. Canon EOS R does do 4K, and it can only go up to 30 frames per second. It is nice, it gives me the 10-bit like I mentioned in the previous, but in order to do 60 frames per second, I gotta go down to 1080. The EOS R looks really nice when you take 1080 60 and up convert it to 4K 60. I don't get that 8-bit to 10-bit when I do that. Reason number 3 that I got an FX30 over the EOS R I had are lenses. So Canon recently announced that they're killing the opportunity for anybody else to make RF lenses. And that's a shame because we have wonderful things in Sigma and Tamron and then some companies that I can't really pronounce the name of. In fact, right now we're shooting on a Sigma, and personally I think it looks wonderful. I did have a bunch of Canon RF glass for the EOS R, but I wasn't going to get any more anytime soon because they're not cheap. They're super expensive. But also, not just the price point of them, but when they kill off the ability for third-party manufacturers to make a lens for them, you start to go into, well, no competition. So when there's no competition, that kind of leads a downward trend in quality. And I just didn't want anything to do with going down in quality. Now I know that you could put on the RF to EF adapter and put the EF lenses on there, and that opens just tons and tons of lenses. The big issue that I found with that is that yes, the lens does work, but I do a lot with autofocus, and the autofocus on the EF adapted to RF, even with the Canon brand little adapter doodad, was kind of iffy. It worked really well most of the time, but it usually started going bonkers when I really needed it. So I kind of didn't feel like I can rely on EF glass with one of the Canon mirrorless cameras. Is because, well, it's just smaller and lighter. Like the body itself is, I think it's a little smaller, not much. It weighs a little less, but the fact that this has a crop sensor instead of a full frame on it means I can put these crop sensor lenses, which makes it so much lighter. Makes things a little easier to balance on a gimbal, easier to put little lenses to balance on a gimbal. When my wife Tiffany comes working for Drouin Video, she's going to be doing camera work herself as well. And this is a lot easier for her than that EOS R with the honking Canon RF glass on it. Side note, while we're talking about smaller and easier, it also has really good IBIS in it. So even if you're going just the standard, it's pretty good. And then if you go with the active, it's actually really good. I really like it. I think it looks a lot better than what Canon is offering in like their R6 and R5. Reason number 5 that I switched from the Canon EOS R to the Sony FX30 is the FX30 is a straight up video camera. This is a cinema camera. It does all the cool cinema camera stuff. Now, granted, I don't get a built-in ND filter like a C70 does. I don't get shutter angle, which would be pretty fantastic, so I don't have to keep changing the shutter speed. But it does have a lot of the cinema qualities in it, and it's little. Speaking of cinema things, that means it's a straight up video camera, and I don't have to plug it in to an Atomos Ninja 5 in order to get it to record more than 30 minutes. And now a bonus reason for why I switched from the Canon EOS R to the Sony FX30 is that a good friend of mine, missionary Spencer Smith, uses all Sony. He actually has the Sony FX30. I would like to go with him on various mission trips, and bringing my FX30 mixed in with his FX3, just everything will go together nice and seamless for any kind of video that we do, whether it is for the mission trip or just because. So once again, to recap, the 5 reasons that I switched from the Canon EOS R to the Sony FX30 are better colors, it does 4K 60, has a better lens choice, it's set up to be lighter, it's a dedicated video camera, and then the bonus is so that I can integrate it with other people's systems. So once again, I'm Chris with Chris Drouin Video. Go ahead and hit like, share with a friend, hit subscribe. Go ahead and hit the little notification bell icon doodad so that you'll know when we upload new content. And have a good day. Bye.